She returned from a wedding with a secret. Her lover's wife learned the truth first. I knew something was wrong the moment she stepped through the door. Not because she said anything, not because she looked guilty, but because she didn't look at me at all. She slipped past me like a shadow, heels in her hand, perfume faded into something unfamiliar, muted, wrong. A scent I didn't recognize clung to her, warm, musky, distinctly masculine. It hit me like a quiet confession whispered directly into my skull. She didn't notice my eyes on her, or maybe she did. That was the part that unsettled me more. "Long night?" I asked, keeping my voice flat. She froze, just for half a second. Then a smile stretched across her lips, too practiced, too fragile. "Yeah, I'm exhausted. Good night." No hug, no kiss. Just a door closing between us. I stood in the hallway, the silence heavy enough to suffocate. There are moments in life where you feel the ground tilt beneath you, but you keep standing because collapsing would be admitting the truth. This was one of those moments. That night, she didn't touch me, not even accidentally. And at 2:17 a.m., when I pretended to sleep, I felt the bed dip as she slipped out and went to the bathroom. Her whispers were barely audible. I caught only 3 words: delete, everything, please. Her voice wasn't talking to herself, and it wasn't talking to me. That was when the shaking started, not in my hands, but in my chest. Something had followed her home from that wedding, something she was terrified of. I didn't know what it was yet, but I would, and when I did, it would hit her harder than she ever imagined. The next morning, she was bright, too bright. Breakfast made, hair perfect, smile surgically placed. People fake love all the time, but guilt? That's harder to hide. She wouldn't meet my eyes, wouldn't touch her phone in front of me, wouldn't mention the wedding, the bride, the groom, or anyone else. I watched her move around the kitchen, efficient, polished, detached. I forced the conversation. "So, how was the wedding?" She blinked twice, a tell she thought she'd buried years ago. "It was nice, just nice. A ceremony she'd spent weeks obsessing over, a best friend she adored, a guest list full of people she claimed she loved, a lie wrapped in one word." "What about the after-party?" Her fingers tightened around her cup. "Not much, just enough for me to see a vein rise along her wrist." "There wasn't one," she said. Another lie. Because I'd already seen a photo posted by someone who rarely used social media. A blurry dance floor, my wife in the background, laughing, leaning into a man whose face was turned away from the camera. A man with a wedding ring, a familiar shape, one I had seen before. My stomach twisted. She kept talking about nothing, weather, traffic, laundry, but all I heard was the hum of pressure between us. Something was bleeding through the cracks of her perfect performance. By evening, she said she felt sick, a headache, a fever, something vague. When she finally fell asleep, her phone buzzed twice. 2 messages, same sender, a woman's name, Emma, her lover's wife, the one person she never wanted to hear from. I didn't open the messages. I didn't need to. The fear on my wife's face earlier told me everything. She was scared of another woman, not a man. That meant only one thing. Whatever happened at that wedding wasn't consensual on all sides. Someone cheated. Someone lied. Someone panicked. And she knew the fallout was coming. I started quietly investigating, not by spying, but by paying attention. Her clothes smelled of cologne I didn't own. Her wedding ring stayed off because her finger was swollen. She flinched when her phone buzzed. She cried in the shower. She checked the mailbox before I could. I kept calm, detached, while inside, the knots tightened. The truth reveals itself if you stand still long enough. By midweek, she made a doctor's appointment. Her explanation was hollow. "It's nothing, just routine." Routine? We didn't do routine. We barely did normal. I followed her, not physically, but through the gaps she left behind. Receipts, insurance emails, calendar notes she forgot to delete. Then the missed call from the clinic, then the voicemail. My heart stopped when I heard the doctor say, "Your results are ready. Please come in as soon as possible." Results, not your appointment, not your test. Results. Carrie's weight. When she returned from the clinic that evening, she trembled. Eyes red, hands clenched. She didn't see me watching her. She opened her phone, typed a message, deleted it, typed again, deleted again, then finally sent one. To the same woman, Emma. I only caught the first line on her screen, "Please don't tell him yet." My chest tightened. She wasn't afraid to tell me, she was afraid to tell him. And that meant the truth was about to break something much bigger than our marriage. The truth arrived in a white envelope. I found it in her purse. She left it half open, careless in her panic. Inside, a medical report. Diagnosis bold and sharp across the page. Something she could not have gotten alone. Something transmitted. Something shared. Intimate. Undeniable. A disease she didn't have before the wedding. A disease her lover's wife, Emma, would now know came from someone other than her. I felt nothing. No rage, no heartbreak. Just clarity. When she walked in, she froze. The envelope was in my hand. Her lips parted, but no sound came. "Whose is it?" I asked. She shook her head, tears rising. "A mistake." "No," I said, "a consequence." She broke then. Not loudly, not dramatically. Silent. Collapsed. Destroyed. I stepped aside, let the weight of the truth land on her shoulders. She thought I would yell, beg, fall apart. Instead, I handed her the envelope. Cold, controlled. "You should give this to the right person." She stared at me, shaking. "What do you mean?" "You know exactly what I mean." She did. She always did. The next afternoon, I sent a message. Not to her, not to her lover, to Emma, the wife, the one living in the dark just as I had been. "You should see this." I didn't send accusations, didn't send explanations, just a single picture of the medical report. Bare, clinical, truth without commentary. Within minutes my phone rang. Her voice was calm, too calm. "When did she get this?" Emma asked. "The day after the wedding." Silence. Sharp. Heavy. Then, "Thank you." A tone like steel. A tone that meant something inside her snapped. My wife paced the house the entire night, waiting, terrified. Her phone rang. She didn't answer. It rang again. Then again. She collapsed on the couch, shaking, whispering, "Oh God! Oh God!" I watched her unravel, piece by piece. This wasn't revenge born of anger. This was justice shaped by truth, and she felt every inch of it. By morning she packed a bag. "I'm sorry," she whispered, "but apologies don't fix what was deliberately broken." I opened the door for her. No emotion, no hesitation. "You should go." She stepped out, looked back once, but I had already turned away. The house felt lighter after she left, quieter, honest. People think heartbreak sounds loud, shouting, sobbing, breaking things. But the real end is silent. I sat at the kitchen table, the same place she had lied to me just days ago, and felt my chest loosen. Not with relief, with clarity. She didn't cheat because she lacked love. She cheated because she lacked discipline, honesty, and courage. And I finally understood something. Betrayal isn't a sudden event. It's a slow erosion. 1,000 small moments ignored until one truth knocks the entire structure down. Her lover's wife now knew the truth. Her lover now had consequences waiting. And she She had to live with the fallout she created. As for me, I didn't hate her, didn't mourn her. I simply let the final piece fall into place. The last line of the medical report echoed in my head as I folded it and placed it away forever. Patient advised to inform partner immediately. She never did, but I did. And that's why I walked away with my sanity intact, while she walked into a life she destroyed with her own hands. The truth didn't set her free, it buried her. And for the first time in years, I felt weightless. Some secrets ruin lives. Hers did.
How could you do this?